And welcome to Check Please, the show where regular people from all over Chicago recommend and review their favorite restaurants. So this is how the show works. Every week we have 3 guests. Each recommends his or her favorite spot, and the other 2 go to check them out to see what they think. This week, writer Helen Weiner says her pick is pure poetry. She says for a delicious dinner in a comfortable and cozy atmosphere, you should book a date at her favorite place. But business development executive Carlos Vasquez says his boisterous BYOB spot hits the mark. He says if you want breakfast or burgers, follow him to his selection. But up first, medical science liaison Monica Timmerman says if you're looking for a mindful Mediterranean meal with a California cooking style, she knows the spot. Just head on over to Illinois Street and join her at EMA.
The style of our restaurant is mezza, which means lots of small plates. 2 tops are great, but 4 tops, then you can try a lot of different things.
There is familiar flavors like hummus, but we take it to the next level. We want to make the food really look pretty.
There's a lot of people come here and they haven't had a mezza experience.
Yeah.
So like we guide them through it, and that's part of what we do, and that's kind of I think the magic of what EMA is. Our bread is almost on every single table, and people like dipping stuff together. Bread, all these things come together very, very well. You can include all these different ingredients, the mezza style of eating with that.
The most important thing of food to me is to come together and enjoy the company that's around you and the food. Have new experiences, be exposed to new food.
You're coming away with a new experience, and it's exciting, it's fun.
So, Monica, you say that EMA is just what the doctor ordered. Tell us why you chose it.
I chose it because I just love fresh, clean Mediterranean flavors, and I think EMA does that really, really well. I also really love small plates, so it's all small plates, really shareable. You can try a bunch of different things, and it's always really well balanced, crunch, tang, tart. It's always really, 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 really good. What's also really unique about it is that it has a really interesting wine list, so wines from Lebanon, Greece, Morocco, so I've always had a different wine that I've never tried before, which I really love. And the whole interior is so modern and clean and cool that you can bring anyone. So you could have a friend for lunch casually, or you could have your group of girlfriends for brunch, or even like a business dinner or business lunch, which I've actually done quite a bit. And the menu's really approachable too, so people, if they're pescatarian, vegetarian, it's good for everybody.
So it's a little something for everyone.
It really is.
It's interesting with the wine list, being a Mediterranean-driven restaurant, I'm a big believer in if it grows together, it goes together.
Yes.
So if you're going to have Mediterranean food, it's good to have those Mediterranean wine selections.
I'm very familiar with tapas-style eating, and I thought the place was just phenomenal. It was everything from the ambiance to the decor to the vines that were growing up on the ceiling. You feel like you're in an art gallery, and then when you look over to the side, you feel like you're in some backyard in California. It really is an eclectic place, and then on top of that, the food and the wine pairings were just spectacular.
What did you order?
I got the falafel, Brussels sprouts, and I also got the garlic hummus, which was fantastic. And I think it's important to point out that when you're eating hummus, you got to have good bread, right? And all of their breads are made in-house. They make them right there. Incredible place.
And not just plain pita bread. It had spices and it was toasted, and so I love that.
That's a good point.
We asked for more bread.
So did I.
Did you? They always accommodate you.
I did.
I prefer a bigger plate, actually. But I did try a variety of different things, and there were 4 of us, so we all had a little taste of everything. We had the octopus, which was tender, and then we shared some of the lamb kebabs, and we had the cauliflower. So we had like about 9 different dishes for 4 people. And that was just about right.
Okay.
But the thing that was maybe disappointing was that we had ordered falafels, and that's kind of a standard for Mediterranean food, I would think. And when it came out, there were 4 little falafels. So I feel like it wasn't really belonging in the small plates, but maybe in the tiny plates.
So you got small plates and then smaller plates.
Yeah, exactly. So otherwise, the other foods were really fresh and unique.
I love to start with some spreads because they can also give you a sampler where you can try a bunch of different ones. So one of my favorites is actually the toasted almond and garlic.
That's fantastic.
And they had an avocado and pea, which was really nice. Last time I had a watermelon and feta salad, which had some cucumber in it. Anytime anybody puts cucumber in something, I'm really excited. The charred octopus, which is one of my favorites. They have this lemon preserve sauce, which is just so, so delicious. I love the scallops when they have them, and they usually have a fish of the day. They always complement each other, and I'm always able to get a couple different glasses of wine to go with each of those different.
Do you feel just light and fresh?
I
after you
do.
leave here?
I really do.
And the presentation of the food is also,
It really
it's
is.
I
incredible.
did something good for my body.
You know, I guess that's how it makes you feel. I didn't get the octopus. I was tempted, but I was more focused on eating my plate. So.
Try it next time. It's so tender.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
boy,
really good.
okay.
So good.
Will do.
And the lamb kefta as well, that comes with a tzatziki sauce, which I love tzatziki. But also
here.
the lemon dill rice. So I'm Polish and I love dill and cucumbers and pickles and sour cream. So they have a lot of that there and I just love that about it. I always leave room for dessert there too.
They do have very
good
creative
dessert.
They do.
Mediterranean desserts.
They
Any
do.
favorites?
I do love the chocolate torte. They actually put a little tarragon on it and this not too sweet whipped cream, so that, and then I'll order like one of the frozen yogurts, like an olive oil and salt, which is like a little bit savory.
That was so good.
Did you like it? Have
Try
to
the
save
honey
some room.
pie. That honey pie
I
is so
haven't.
good.
One of my friends ordered it once, and we were in a big group. I couldn't reach over and grab some, but I've always really wanted to try it.
You have to be quick with that one.
Right, right.
All right, well, Monica, you picked Ema. Sum it up for us.
If you're looking for an oasis in the River North neighborhood for some light, fresh California cooking inspired by Mediterranean food and Israel, definitely check out Ema for a flavorful meal.
Carlos?
If you're looking for a place that is whimsical, a place that has a beautiful ambiance, and you're going to have a great time at, Ema is definitely the place to go in River North.
And Helen?
Unique small plates in a modern environment.
Well, you can try the small plates and much more at Ema, 74 West Illinois Street, 312-527-5586. They're open 7 days a week for dinner, brunch, and lunch. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $30. Helen Weiner knows the Chicago area has a fantastic reputation for Italian food, and she says she's found one of the best in an unlikely location. She says for perfect polenta, pomodoro, pappardelle, and much more, join her at Passero.
We are what I consider Chicago-style Italian. We like to have a lot of fun. We're very lively. We like to keep it very relaxed and loose here too as well, but I think hospitality is our #1 priority. Passero means sparrow in Italian. One of those hard-working, vigilant birds, always foraging for its family. My biggest influence from cooking, though, came from my mom and my 2 grandmothers. Kind of spent my early childhood cooking with them, learning a lot from my Italian grandmother a lot too, a lot of the recipes that we cook here at the restaurant. Just using 1 or 2 really good quality ingredients and just letting that kind of shine in the dish. We fill this little cozy little place where people can come and just get some really good food and really good cocktails and drinks, and we focus on making sure that we have a really small, collective wine list that people can come enjoy. You know, getting a good reach from all over Chicagoland of people coming to try us out, which we really love.
So Helen, you say Passero is perfecto. Tell us why you chose it.
Well, I love the food. It's very tasty, and they think of different types of combinations of, you know, just regular types of ordinary flavors, but the way they mix it and the way they present it, and just the environment. I mean, it's just a sweet little place, and I feel like I'm eating delicious food in like a little jewelry box. So it makes me feel special when I go there. It's charming, yet it's really, I don't know, it's just modern and just fun to go. Lunch or dinner.
So like the food style is modern and the decor and the service style.
And it's not pretentious. It's really solid, good food and really a good value, I think, for the money. Yeah.
Right. So Monica, you don't live too far away from Passero, about a half an hour drive.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I actually really loved it. The first time we went, we actually were so full that we couldn't try everything we wanted to, so I went a second time to try more things. But we ordered all of the pastas basically, loved every single one of them. The carbonara was one of my favorites, but my parents loved the ricotta gnocchi with that brown butter sauce, and we were all obsessed with the foraged mushrooms. So it's kind of farm to table, or that's kind of what I got from it. And all the pastas were homemade, they told us last time.
Did you guys by any chance try the sourdough bread?
Yeah, the cheesy pull apart.
Yes, that was really good. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
And they made it to order, so I ordered it right away so we would have, because we were so hungry.
Okay, so how does that work, made to order bread? Does it take a long time?
It took, they told us 15 minutes, so right when we sat down, I kind of did some research before and found out that it would take 15 minutes, so that's why I kind of ordered it right away.
It was worth it.
It was worth it. It was. And I also really loved the Frito Misto. So it had all these different types. I've never had a fried olive before, but they had olives and shishito peppers, and we just loved that one too.
Helen, what are some of your favorites to order at Passero?
Well, I like the appetizers. I like the burrata and Brussels sprouts. I like the simple spaghetti carbonara, but I've had all their other pastas. I've had their steak, and I've had their fish, and it's all been very good. It's all prepared well. I've not had a bad meal there. I love that place.
So Carlos, what else did you order?
I had the fusilli vodka pasta, which was really, really good. My only thing about Passero is the prices are a little too similar to that of what you'd find in River North. It was, going to Arlington Heights, I guess my expectation was that the prices would be a little more reasonable, and so I was a little bit sticker shocked, but I think it was good food.
The second time we went, though, we got a lot more of the main dishes. So we got the flounder with the Marcona almond crust. It was so good. And the shrimp, just so fresh. So when we ordered some of those entrees, it did get a little bit, it was probably $30 an entree. So that kind of added up. But I'm okay with that. It was so good.
Any noteworthy desserts?
The butterscotch.
Oh, I had that too.
I don't know if it's a panna cotta or what is it, but it was so good.
Did you like the little butterscotch crunchies?
Yes, those were so good. But we also got the berry cobbler, which wasn't our favorite, but we were so happy with that butterscotch.
The Bedino.
Yeah, Bedino.
Yes. Let's talk about drinks. Monica, you had a particularly cleverly named cocktail.
Resting Beach Face. Yes. That one was actually our favorite of all of the cocktails. We tried a bunch of different ones, but yeah.
Resting Beach Face.
We definitely had some resting beach faces at the table after that one.
Although my resting beach face would be like that.
Right. That was really delightful, really refreshing and pineapple-y and everything that you would think that drink was. But I also love wine, so I was looking at the wine list.
Me too.
Right? They had a couple that I've never had before, and one was from Sicily, and it had this really interesting flavor I've never had before. So they really complemented with the pasta dishes and all the shrimp and things. So I loved the drinks.
Helen, give us a feel for the neighborhood.
The neighborhood, well, it's kind of in the central area of businesses, so it's fun to walk around there before you go there or even afterwards. It's kind of a nice little area by the train station where everything's happening, and it's just really booming.
I think what Helen says is right. It's a nice little kind of villagey type neighborhood, and I think that Passero is definitely a good addition to that landscape.
All right, Helen, you chose Passero. Sum it up for us.
An unusual, delicious food, that's served in a cozy, warm space.
Monica?
If you're in the Arlington Heights neighborhood and you're looking for some Italian food, definitely check out Passero. It's really interesting and flavorful.
And Carlos?
I agree with Monica. If you're in that neighborhood or you're driving through, it's definitely worth your time to stop by and check it out.
Well, you can taste the carbonara and more at Passero, 5 West Campbell Street, Arlington Heights, 224-857-8900. They're open for dinner Tuesday through Thursday, lunch and dinner Friday and Saturday, and dinner only on Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $25. No matter what day of the week, Carlos Vasquez says his spot always serves up fantastic food. If you're craving a breakfast burrito, a good old-fashioned burger, and much more, he says you got to join him and Ron Swanson over at WHISK.
Brunch in Chicago is like a whole different monster. It's a whole different culture. This is what people do on Saturdays and Sundays. You can expect anywhere from, you know, your typical young and hip couple to the people with kids, families, everybody. Everybody's welcome here. My business partner is my brother. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes we hate each other because, you know, we both love what we do. My brother's a huge fan of Parks and Recs, so we're kind of known as the Ron Swanson restaurant, believe it or not. And it started as a joke saying, hey, bacon and eggs, all the bacon, we're a brunch place. Definitely expect some place to be like homey, feel welcome, and just feel like you're at your mom's house, basically. You know, everything that we do, we put a lot of thought to it. So whether it comes fresh ingredients or the love that we put into the food, we want that translate to what people feel here.
So Carlos, you say WHISK is wonderful. Tell us why you chose it.
I chose WHISK because in Chicago, you've got a lot of places that say that they serve a good breakfast, and there are plenty of good places, but WHISK is really a cut above in that when you order the full pancakes and you look at them and you're like, I'm never going to be able to finish that. And you start taking a bite and another bite and another bite, and then by the time you know it, you've eaten the whole thing. And it's because it's delicious and you can't stop yourself.
So you and I were talking earlier, and you said that Chicago has a brunch culture that's unique specifically to our city.
I would agree with that. You know, brunch is a very serious thing here in Chicago, and you could even go to a restaurant that isn't traditionally known for brunch, but they'll put their own twist on French toast. They'll put their own twist on pancakes. So there's definitely a battle for the very top, and I think WHISK stands amongst the top in Chicago.
All right. Helen, are you a big lover of brunch?
Yeah, I kind of like all the foods of different days, but I did like it. I didn't know what to expect. We went there around 10 o'clock, and when we went there, there was quite a line, you know, because they don't take reservations.
Well, the thing with brunch is, you know, when I go out to brunch, I just expect to wait, right? And probably because you're saying we have a serious brunch culture in Chicago.
So when we saw the window display, it was like all these pictures of an image of a man, and I kept thinking, I know this person. Was that Pablo Escobar? No, it was like, yeah. So then it was like, oh, it's the actor.
So Ron Swanson, if you watch Parks and Recreation, repeatedly extols his love of breakfast and bacon, and how there's no other meal that you should eat, and that all the evils of the world can be solved by breakfast foods. So they're really into Ron Swanson here. Monica, what'd you think?
I loved it. We didn't know it was cash only, so we were able to put our names down around 11:30 on a Sunday, so it was a busy time.
Yeah.
But we were able to go to the Mariano's across the street and get cash and get some sour brews and get some ingredients for mimosas. So we were able to make some mimosas while we were waiting, which was fine. But the food was so, so good. I love spice. I had the fried chicken, and it came with a spicy maple sauce. That was probably one of my favorites. But my other girlfriends that actually used to live in the neighborhood, they loved the barbecue brisket grilled cheese with Cajun fries. So that was actually really spicy. We had it as like an appetizer, so we all kind of shared it.
That's a great way to do it.
And one of my friends really loves sweet breakfast. So we got the berry banana pancakes, and it had this white chocolate ganache, and the raspberries were in there, and it was just perfectly balanced and just so delicious. The bananas on there were so good.
And the food was delicious. I mean, we shared a mushroom garlic hamburger, and we also shared the smoked brisket Benedict.
I've been vindicated.
And I'll tell you, it was good because instead of an English muffin, there was like a corn cake. So that was different, and just so good.
So Carlos, any favorites from the menu?
I would say the chorizo omelet is definite. I mean, if you ask anyone, I think that's one of their most popular items. It's got the meat, it's got the avocado, it's got the corn, it's got the onions, it's got the sour cream. It's just phenomenal. Yeah. I've had everything on that menu. I've had the burgers, I've had every one of the pancakes. They just got a new French toast on there with some sort of chocolate spread, but I wasn't daring enough to get that because I had my eyes focused on the banana berry pancakes.
They do some interesting French toast where they'll put different candies. So either Snickers or Reese's peanut butter cups, you know, and dessert for breakfast.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And then my business partner and I frequently get into this argument about what brunch should be. He thinks brunch should be dessert on a plate. So where do you guys fall? Sweet or savory?
It's sweet, savory,
It's
and delicious. I
they
mean,
do
you
some-
can't go wrong.
They do some creative pancakes here too.
They've got an Oreo raspberry pancake, which is phenomenal. It's to die for.
We were between that one, so we asked the waitress, we said, which one? So we got the banana berry. So I kind of had that for dessert because I'm more of a savory person.
Fantastic.
I'm a salty gal. I love that.
You're with me.
Salt.
Yes.
I'm with Monica.
So Helen, how would you describe the restaurant? Sort of the
I think it's
decor.
whimsical and just fun.
just home.
And
I wish I
it's
had
just
that in
uplifting.
Arlington.
I feel a good brunch spot should be whimsical. It should be fun.
Yeah.
And you're barely awake at that time of day, you know? So it should be like, should be entertaining. All right, Carlos, you chose WHISK. Sum it up for us.
I can't say enough about the place. It's fantastic, savory, sweet, and incredible. You have to go if you've never been.
All right. Monica?
If you're in the Ukrainian Village neighborhood and are hungry for brunch, definitely go to WHISK.
And Helen?
Hearty food in a fun and whimsical space.
Well, you can try the burgers and brunch for yourself at WHISK, 2018 West Chicago, 773-252-9060. They're open for breakfast and lunch Monday through Sunday. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $12. So on this week's show, we featured Ima in River North, Passero in Arlington Heights, and WHISK in Ukrainian Village. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we made our way to Illinois Street and dropped in at Ima. Monica recommends it for the clean Mediterranean flavors and the unique wine list. Helen enjoyed the fresh flavors but thought the plates were a little too small. Carlos loved the eclectic atmosphere and tapas-style dining. Then we went to the northwest suburbs and visited Passero. Helen recommends it for Italian fare with a unique mix of ingredients and a cute atmosphere. Carlos thinks it's a nice addition to the neighborhood, although a little pricey. Monica loved the homemade pastas and the locally sourced ingredients. Lastly, we headed to Chicago Street and sat down at WHISK. Carlos recommends it for a top-notch brunch with huge portions. Helen enjoyed the fun atmosphere and delicious Benedict. Monica said the food was on point. Well, we've had just a wonderful time this week, and I'd like to thank my guests, Monica Timmerman, Helen Weiner, and Carlos Vasquez. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Alpana Singh, and I'll see you then. Cheers. Hey, that was a fun episode.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.